Well, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Well, good evening, and good evening, well, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for joining tonight. But I want to say we apologize for the lateness in starting the show tonight, and that is because there was somewhat of a glitch with the platform which we use, which is StreamYard, which they send their apologies, and I do stress my apologies as well for the delay in coming on. We normally come on at 9 p.m. on Thursday night. There's so much breaking news and so much thing which is happening in the world. Gary, how are you doing, sir? How are you? How are you?
I'm good, man. It's great to be. It's great to be with you. We didn't get to do anything last week, and
Yes,
then we're having a lot of technical issues today.
yes,
Really.
yes,
So
yes. It has been a very interesting week. And everybody know because I always say to people sometimes if I have any guests, I say I'd invite you to come on the show. So what are the topics? The topics will be A, B, C, D. But when you reach to Wednesday, it could be C, D, E or E, F, G. And as
yeah,
what we have seen today, the most breaking news is the Air India plane, which you know, you know, accident which killed a lot of persons, 247, I believe they said, and 58 Brits, uh, which is in that case, and of course, 241 people killed in an extraordinary tale of survival with one person, Mr. Vish Wash Kumar Ramash, who was in seat 11A on the London-bound Boeing 7878 flight when it crashed shortly after takeoff in Almadad, Western India. Gary, what's your take on this? And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for those who are joining on uh, TikTok. Remember to like and remember to share, and those on Facebook and those also on Instagram. Yes, Gary. Yeah.
I mean we can't really speculate, can we? It's a bit strange that I don't know. I don't know. It's sad of the 200 plus loss of life, apart from one.
Mm,
I think really he has a story or he has an account to tell. We just don't know what happened,
yes.
really. Um, I know there's going to be conspiracy theorists out there who
Really.
may put one plus one together to get 11 in a sense that they could even say Pakistan may have had something to do with this because India and Pakistan are
Oh, yeah.
in conflict with each other now.
Sort of loggerheads, isn't it?
Yes, that has kind of died down. If you if you cast your mind a bit, we haven't nobody's has commented on the clash in Kashmir, have they? They have not at all mentioned anything about what's happening in that area. So some
Yes.
may have it to say that Pakistan has something to do with it, but it's strange again because every plane that lands and every plane just before takeoff, there is serious serious inspections of these machines going into the air, and I'm just wondering if if there's any if there is any at all plan, if there was any plan, because listen,
Mm,
not strange for pilots. In the past, pilots have done some weird things. You know,
yes.
I, I'd wonder, I'd like to wonder the the nationality of the pilots, and also what religious spin or what religious you know tale. Well, what's the word? I don't even know what to say here in
What's spin on
regards
the wall? What's spin on the wall
le-
thing?
yeah, leaning in any particular religious vein. That's another one.
Yes.
Or were any of the pilots under the influence of drink or drugs? Or you have to look at all of these things,
Mm.
because because how could a plane that must have had inspection on takeoff then crash? I mean, it wasn't coming into land, was it? It had just taken up, isn't
But
it?
yeah, it just started off. It just started off. Yes.
And then crashed. I mean, that
Yeah.
is strange. We can't speculate. I mean, that's all I've been doing, really, speculate,
Mm.
and probably I shouldn't be doing that. So I'm sure the the the, the crash investigators will examine the scene, see what the black box may have
Comes up with.
recorded. Yeah, let's just hope that it wasn't that nothing you know
Untoward.
untoward has happened. We have to really our prayers and our thoughts are with the families who have lost extended family and friends. Really, we just have to pray and ask the Lord really to comfort those that have been left behind, because it would seem that whole families, as far as mother, father, and children, have been lost. So a
Mm.
generation there has been wiped out. Really,
Yeah. So I saw some pictures as well of like like when people are taking shots of persons before when they're flying, saying hi and things like that. And it's
right?
a lovely family there, and of course there's many others at the same time. But I just show the video of the gentleman who actually there's a picture of him. There's a picture of him, the British man, the only survivor, and you can see the picture of him. British man is the only passenger survived the Indian plane crash. The only
Yeah,
passenger survived the Indian plane crash. I think a lot of people are going to try to find a seat which is 11A, because that seemed to be the seat 11A. Um, the British man walked away from the wreckage of the Air India crash that killed at least 200 people. And here's like a video of him as well. If I can play it. Can you think about that? Think about that. You know, think about that experience for that gentleman there. Um, coming out of that crash. Greetings, Michelle. Welcome, Michelle. And you know, think about that. Think about that gentleman there. Coming out of that crash.
yeah,
This
yeah, yeah.
it must have been something. I think they were speaking to his brother. I think they were speaking to his brother in the UK, and I think the brother was saying that they can't verify anything at this moment. The, the brother there. There's the brother, cousin of the crash survivor, speaks to the BBC, and here it is.
Is it supposed to be playing?
Um, Can you hear it, Gary?
No,
Were you were you able to hear?
I
What
didn't
was it?
hear
Was
anything.
was the video moving?
No,
Okay, I think I know why. Yeah, yeah. Okay, stop sharing. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna stop sharing that. Yeah. I think Restream is still having some difficulties there at the same time, as I can pick up here. They're definitely having some difficulty with their platform. Let me see if I can do something here. Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a difficulty with the platform here that we're using. Restream was having some difficulty, and I think they're still having difficulty at the same time with this platform. And let me bring in back Gary. So you see, there you are, Gary. We can't seem to bring out the fullness of you. Um, we're not able. Let me see something here.
Yeah, I think there's some.
There's
There
some
seems to
glitch.
be. Yeah, there's
Yeah,
glitches in this.
there's some glitches. But anyway, we can hear. Charmaine Knuckle. Charmaine, how are you doing? Is this Charmaine? Hey, Charmaine, how are you? I need to ask. I need to send you a. No, this is not Charmaine Knuckle. Okay, I thought it was another Charmaine there. Um, yeah. But anyway, while we're at it, still, we can talk about this other issue. The may our condolences to the family and the people there in India and to many other families who have been impacted as a result of this issue. Um, London Gatwick confirmed that a reception center for relatives of the passenger was being set up where information would be provided, and that was liaising closely with Air India, um, and also on ex-British nationals who require consular assistance or have concerns about friends or family should call 0207 008 5000. 0207 008 5000 as well. Sad occasion, Gary, there's something also which is brewing, and that is about Rachel Reeves. And I'm going to play Kimmy Badenoch in a bit from now. But I don't know if you have been following the spending bit regarding the Chancellor. Yeah. Are you there, Gary? Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hello?
I'm not hearing any.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Are you hearing me? Yes. No, I mentioned about the spending thing, spending review, and the key points with the chancellor.
Right.
Yeah. Have you listened to it? Were you able to listen to it? What's
I
going on?
was
Somebody said black screen. Yeah. Yeah.
every
Michelle,
now and
sorry.
again.
Sorry. I just want to say something. Michelle, can you see me and Gary? Can you see me and Gary on the side? Apparently, there's some hiccup issues with the platform which is called StreamYard, which I use. They have been having some sort of glitches. And
I think my friend has disappeared now. We're really having some serious issues with StreamYard. There was a notice on Google saying that
we got
there's
it
a
back.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was just trying to explain that Google
yeah,
was informed us that there was a cloud issue with Google Cloud
yes, yes.
or Cloud or so. But okay,
Okay. Now it is back. It is back. And Michelle, let me know if you are still seeing a black screen. And if you're seeing a black screen, is it actually you're seeing me and Gary because we're both black. So maybe that's what you're seeing. as as someone said, I've been black all day of my life. You know what I'm trying to say? Yes, the spending review, and because of time, we're not going to stay long on it. We're just going to listen to Kemi Badenoch at some point because I believe Kemi Badenoch is getting better. You know, I mean, it's what everybody is saying. Because there's a point in her dispatch box discourse with Keir Starmer when he said that so like she's getting his worst thing, and she said, "No, I'm getting better." And said, "You're a coward," because he kept talking about Liz Truss, and Kemi Badenoch said, You keep talking about Liz Truss because you're hiding behind Liz Truss, and you're not facing up to your own issues, your own faults. So what it said, the spending review key points at glance. It talks about she has set out her spending review in the House of Commons. Um, talk about different aspect, different winners and losers. They talk about um, health and social care, education, defense has gone up, home office, local government. As a matter of fact, I understand that one local authority even today is maybe going to be pulled back into on the government, control if anything as well. The defense is big again, and why the defense is somewhat big is because I believe that they are. Somebody said not working over here, just a black screen and no sound. I do not know what you're talking about, Michelle, because I can see the video on another big screen which I have here, which I'm looking at, and I can hear Gary. You can see everything and you can hear anything, yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
hear. See.
yeah. And I can hear Gary. You can see everything and you can hear. Dear Michelle, I don't understand what you're seeing because I'm looking at another screen and the screen is very clear. I can see it, and I just played it a while ago. It's on YouTube. I can see it very clearly, very very clear, as well. Um, so yeah, the, the what you need to do is refresh your screen. Yes, Gary. So the lots of developments by the chancellor as well. You know. Yeah. And Gary, okay. Let me pause you there. Oh, that's yeah. Mute. I mute Gary. Yeah. Gary. Gary, okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm all right. All right. I just had to get up from my seat just to do something, but I'm okay.
Okay. Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Any views on the whole thing which I mentioned about regarding the
Can we?
spending review? No, the
Well,
spending
I mean,
review
the spending review.
with the
I I
chancellor.
I think that she is doing her best to keep the voters happy by way of the she's increased the NHS. She's increased NHS spending, yes, yeah. Over a
Mm,
3 year period, I think for the rest of this parliament, I think she's increasing that. The obviously she's had to cut the spending in other areas, which
mm,
I don't know if that would be if that is wise. Again, you know, even the spending. Now when you think about what is happening
yeah.
in with Iran, I don't know if any of the listeners or yourself have been keeping a very close eye and ear to what's happening with Iran, because Iran seems to be now the I is it the
Yeah.
IEAE, they have written a damning report saying that Iran is in breach of the nuclear of their nuclear agreement. So which
Mm,
means that they're at the stage now of that they're at the stage now of having a nuclear bomb. And Trump Trump has said that Iran is not having a nuclear bomb. And if never mind Israel, if
mm,
Israel smells, so in one sense, I think this world right now, tonight, is on the brink of
mm.
something happening between either US hitting Iran or Israel hitting Iran. Within the next
Yes.
12, 24 hours is crucial for this world,
Mm,
because if Iran is in breach of their nuclear agreement of not having enriched uranium to put into a bomb, and Iran has for a little while now stated that they have is it 2000? I'm not 200.
Mm.
I'm not too sure of the weight of the bomb that they have.
Yes.
Anything now could happen. Anything now could happen with Iran. And I really believe that Britain has increased spending. We don't know what kind of intelligence Britain is having. We don't know what kind of intelligence the US, neither the Israeli government has received. But if what the British military has received is an indication of anything, then my friend, I don't think it's going to be very pretty. It's going to be very settling in the next 24, 48 hours.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm also a bit concerned because when those are in parliament and you got a prime minister saying certain things, I know sometimes we'll say, why is this guy somewhat like he's taking us into war or something like that? When I did a video the other day talking about conscription, whereby they're talking about foots on the ground, boots on the ground. Years ago, we talked about that is going to happen because you talk about Scud missiles and AI and all these sort of ways how things can be done. But is Starmer, is NATO aware of certain information that they're talking about increasing spending on defense? Yeah, increasing spending on defense and ramping up to say there's a threat out there. And and many people, like in the UK as well, they are more saying that, hey, I'm not going to no war or things like that. Now you can't say just men only. You got to say men and women. You know, in America they have sort of draw the line when it comes on to transgender, but men and women, everybody's ramping up things. I know Trump is in the States. Well, I think Trump is not more worried about him and Musk and dealing with what's happening in California. But there's something pending there. There's something pending out there, and lots of distractions are there, but there's something pending out there as well. You know, and
Uh, so,
yeah,
so we this world today, this world today, and let me say the UK. We're here in the UK. I know that
mm,
the other you've got other listeners who are either from Jamaica or the US and probably from other areas of our world, but
mm,
we're closer to war. We're closer to war now than at any other time. I was just, I think probably I was just a babe, or I wasn't even born
mm.
uh, during the Cuban Missile Crisis when
Yes,
RFK or JFK
JFK,
was
and
president of the United States. But
I think it was Khrushchev was the German, was it Russian guy? I remember. Yeah.
the world was close to war then, and the world was close to war then. We are
Mm,
closer than that was ever close to another world war. We're in serious times, and our government,
mm.
obviously, with the intelligence sources that they have and with the Americans and the Israeli, they're not letting us know exactly how
Mm,
close we are. And I don't
mm,
think we should take things as lightly as we should. Our presidents and prime ministers around the globe, and obviously the European Union and the
yeah,
European countries, partners that are close by, they are very much knowing how close things are, how close conflict is, more than the very citizens of these countries. And I don't think we
mm,
must take it for granted. So I don't think we must
mm,
take it for granted at all. I don't want to sound as if I am a scaremonger or a warmonger or want to frighten anybody. I don't want to. But
mm,
if we look close, if we're
mm.
listening closely to the things that we are being told, we're not being
Yes.
told everything. And whatever we are being told is very, very, very little. but it's not. It's not business as usual. It's not business as usual. Things are going to change, in my estimation, very quickly. How quickly, I can't say. What day and time, I'll tell you straight away. I just don't know. But I don't think we must settle that comfortable.
So what you're saying, no man knows the hour, the day, and the time.
No, man.
You know, I'm
I'm not.
looking at.
I'm
I'm
not
just.
talking
Sorry, go ahead.
about. Sorry, I'm not even talking about the coming of the Lord. I'm not talking about that.
No. I'm talking about the same possibility of things breaking out upon this earth. No one knows
Yes,
the time and the hour. It's the same
right,
difference. You know, I was
right.
looking at some. I was reflecting on. I was checking on my come on, my general knowledge about Russia and Cuba, and I said Khrushchev, and I was correct. No one was sure how Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev would respond to the naval blockade, but they've said in October 1962, an American U-2 spy plane secretly photographed nuclear missile sites being built by the Soviet Union on the island of Cuba. Um, President Kennedy did not want the Soviet Union and Cuba to know that he had discovered the missiles. He met in secret with his advisors for several days to discuss the problem. Yeah, so that was correct there. What is happening? So we're in this we're in we're in this zone there, guy. We're in this zone, and people will have to be aware as well as possible. So Starmer must be onto something, even though I don't like, and the possibility of wanting to maybe pull people into conflict, but maybe through the intelligence, Gary, they know something that we don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
that is always the case. I mean,
Mm.
that will always be the case. I mean,
Yes.
I don't think the citizens of the world will ever be um, brought up to date minute by minute on any particular issue. We will be the last
Yeah.
to know, but
Yes.
we may be the first to see the destruction, but the last to know of anything. And that
Yeah.
is what is sad because our premiers and our presidents and
Yes.
and the leaders of nations,
Yes.
they will always stand before us and tell us some hocus but they won't tell us the reality. They won't tell
What?
us
What?
the
Yeah. What Michelle is saying on TikTok is that what's happening with the immigration issues is just their narrative to distract us, and I'm assuming that she's referring to what's happening in America, California at present, and ICE. I presume that's what you're talking about, Michelle. They are distract, but I think people are now wised up now, Gary. When we are seeing things happening, people are now perk up and say, "What is not being said at this time? What is really happening?" It's like Sunday night, I'm going to be having a discussion with Mr. Ramsey talking about AI, artificial intelligence. And then I'm reminded of a film which I watched with my family the other day, which was Tom Cruise, that latest Mission Impossible. And it was about AI. I just want to let that land right there. But there's lots of things which are happening in this world if we're not careful that we can be sucked right in. But I want to bring in Kemi Bader now. And I want us to listen to Kemi Baden. And many people say she's on her dying days or so, but I think she's coming out like a Rottweiler. That's just my personal views at this time. And ladies and gentlemen, you can say what. Let me hear what you say. Um, Gary, please let me know if you can hear properly. All right, I want you to let me know if you can hear me. If you can hear properly. If you can hear properly, just put your thumbs up like this. Yeah, if you can hear properly. All right, so I'm gonna play Kemi Baden now, um, in the House of Commons at the last Prime Minister's question time. Ladies and gentlemen, Kemi Badenoch and Keir Starmer.
Mr. Speaker, perhaps the Prime Minister knows something I don't know. There's only one hospital in my constituency. But Mr. Speaker, since Mr. Speaker, Since Labour took office, Mr. Speaker, inflation has nearly doubled, growth has halved, and unemployment has surged. Is this what the Prime Minister meant when he tweeted that the economy is improving?
Mr. Speaker, since the general election, 500,000 more people are in work. And I know she doesn't mention that. She's fixated on talking Britain down. We're investing in the future. Mr. Speaker, even in the last 2 weeks, the Strategic Defence Review, 30,000 new jobs building submarines. Yesterday, the Sizewell announcement, 10,000 new jobs. Tens of thousands of construction jobs building the social and affordable housing that was announced this morning. That's the difference that Labour makes in government.
Three shocking reasons why butter belongs in your smoothie.
The reason butter is called butter is...
Mr. Speaker, he must be talking about a different economy. All of us in this House heard about unemployment increasing. Unemployment has increased every month since Labour took office. Last year, he said he was taking the winter fuel payment away to balance the books. But the books are not balanced. In fact, they are worse. This year, the deficit is forecast to be £10 billion higher since the budget. Not since last year's election, since the budget. In what way are the books now balanced?
Mr. Speaker, she's obviously missed the interest rate cuts, the growth figures for earlier this year, the huge, the Strategic Defence Review, local transport, £15 billion going in, free school meals, Sizewell, social housing.
The issue I have with Keir Starmer, Gary, and if you can hear me, it is that he deflects. He just doesn't answer questions directly. But is that something which is what all prime ministers do? You know, they deflect, and you're gonna see different areas which I flag up as to where he deflect. Any comments before I go on, Gary?
No, we've always said that from the beginning. We've always said that.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's continue.
Mr. Speaker, but she stands there to lecture us, and I say Liz Truss is obviously back in vogue, advising reform officially now, haunting the Tories, and I remind her that the Shadow Home Secretary, I think he was then Chief Secretary to the Treasury, he gave the Liz Truss budget, Mr. Speaker, 9.5 out of 10. The Leader of the Opposition said what was wrong with Liz Truss's budget was not necessarily the package, that was all right, it was the way it was sold. They've learned absolutely nothing.
Mr. Speaker, he loves talking about Liz Truss because he loves talking about Liz Truss. Why? Why? Because he wants to hide from his own economic record. He's a coward. He's a coward. Every time he stands up there and talks about Liz Truss, it's because he is scared about talking about his record and what is happening to the economy out there. Let's bring it back to the U-turn, which he's running away from. A U-turn on the policy that his MPs went out defending time and time again. Let's go through what's happening here. 1 minute, they said it was right to take the winter fuel payment away, but there might be a run on the pound. The next minute, they said it was right to give it back. This is laughable. He stands there all puffed up and self-righteous. Why can't the Prime Minister just admit that he made a mistake?
Mr. Speaker, they left a £22 billion black hole that we had to fill. And that's why we took the right decisions. We've stabilised the economy. That's why we've seen 4 interest rate cuts. The triple lock is committed to on this side. They say it's unsustainable on that side. That's £470 for most pensioners and good Q1 growth. 3 weeks ago, I said that I wanted more pensioners to be eligible for winter fuel. I'm really pleased. We set out the threshold and the certainty that is needed. And she says, I don't want to talk about my record. What about free trade deals, record investment, free school meals, breakfast clubs, social and affordable housing, defence review, Sizewell? We could go on all morning, Mr. Speaker, but we've got the Chancellor who's going to say even more in a minute. Mr. Speaker, I think she at the weekend said that she would be getting better in the role. She could start with apologising for the Liz Truss budget. That would be better.
Mr. Speaker, I get better every week. He gets worse. Yes. He gets worse. Last week, Mr. Speaker.
If you think that is a good look, it is a very bad look. And think twice before you try to shoot somebody down in that way.
Mr. Speaker, last week he had to get his lines from the Russian embassy. I think we all know that he is getting worse, and what he does not want to talk about is how he is going to make the economy better. That is what the people out there want to hear, and he's got no answers. His trade deals have unraveled. The Strategic Defense Review, everyone out there is asking, where is the money coming from? And the fact is, he doesn't know how to balance the books. The Chancellor says the Winterfield payment U-turn won't be funded through higher borrowing. So will the Prime Minister admit that it will be funded by putting everybody's taxes up?
Gary, I'm stopping there because when I played too much, I don't want to get a copyright thing. But what's your take on Kemi Badenoch and her presentation even today?
I mean, I think Kemi's okay, you know. I mean, I think she comes back at Starmer quite well. She's always been doing that. Yeah, with Starmer quite well. But I think with you see, when you notice that when Starmer doesn't really have an answer to certain things, he brings up the 22 billion that
yes, and the 14 year. Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, and then he brings up Liz Truss. How does Liz Truss come into this? You know, in what way does Liz Truss come to this? What he's got to what he has to understand is that Rishi came in after. Why doesn't he bring in Rishi? Why doesn't he say what Rishi's done? Rishi's done more than what he's done. At least Rishi brought back some stability back to the office of the Prime Ministership. I think that is what Rishi has done. Rishi also told the truth. He said exactly what Labour would have to do, and Labour has done it. Now the thing about it, what Rishi what Rishi said but didn't say is that to some extent, if they had returned back to government, the Conservative Party would have to do what the Labour Party is doing by way of yes. But the thing about the Conservative probably would have gone about it a different way, if you understand, because things were not right, and Rishi was honest enough to tell the country what exactly
was going on.
But the country now didn't want to hear that. They went on everything that the Labour Party said that they are going to do, and everything that the Labour Party said they would do, they haven't done it. They've done quite the opposite. Everything that they said, and then when they've had to do the opposite, they blame the Conservative Party for this 22 billion. I mean, listen, I mean, the Labour Party doesn't have a leg to stand on, and if the Labour Party went into a general election, in my estimation, tomorrow they would lose because they don't have the answers that the country is asking for.
Yes, that's very interesting. But let's finish up the last bit with Kemi Badenoch here, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Speaker, I think she let slip on the Matt Ford programme the other day that she rehearses her fury for PMQ. So a very good rehearsal this morning, I think. Mr. Speaker, she asked what we're doing.
He's so condescending to the black woman. He's so condescending, Barry.
Yeah, but I mean, we've said that from time. He has no respect for Kemi.
He has no respect. He's so rude and out of order, you know. Every time she comes up, he likes it. Oh, she's there playing on her social media. He just, the way I see him come across, he comes across like, this is not where you belong. That's it. That's how he's coming across. You don't belong in this area. You don't belong in this field.
Why?
I'm the man. Yeah.
Sil, why doesn't Keir Starmer come out with and settle the big question mark of those who set fire to his house where he doesn't live anymore and to the cars in which he's at? There's a big
Yes.
question mark over that. He won't address that. He hasn't said nothing about that.
Yes.
Have you noticed? But yet he
Yes.
has everything to say about Kemi. And
Yes.
Kemi hasn't done anything to him. What Kemi is doing, she is highlighting the problems that he's not addressing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because they've said it's rather telling when it has been said that about Keir Starmer and his rent boys. That's what they've said. So he needs to
And of
answer
course-
that.
Yeah. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, these are all major allegations which is going around. You know, there's so much going around there. Let's go and listen to Kemi.
The budget, we put record investment in our NHS and our public service, record investment. And she comes every week to carp on about national insurance, but she doesn't stand there with the courage of her convictions and say she'll actually reverse it. And the reason she won't, because she won't stand up and say she's against the investment in the NHS. She won't stand up and say she's against the investment in our public services. And we'll all listen very carefully in just 20 minutes when the Chancellor lays out more record investment as to whether they welcome it or whether they say they wouldn't support it.
Mr. Speaker, every week I come here to tell him the truth. The truth that the economy is in a spiral because Labour, that's all of them, Labour put up taxes that cut growth. And we all heard the Prime Minister, he didn't rule out tax rises, so they are going to have to put up taxes even more. This is a spiral. And if that wasn't bad enough, Mr. Speaker, if that wasn't bad enough, this morning we heard that because of his terrible Chagos deal, Mauritius is scrapping income tax. Why on earth should the British taxpayer pay for £30 billion for tax cuts in Mauritius?
Mr. Speaker, Diego Garcia is a vital intelligence and strategic capability. And it's absolutely clear that legal uncertainty would compromise it in very short order. That is why they started the negotiations in relation to it. And no responsible Prime Minister would let that happen. We've secured the base for the long time. That has been welcomed by our allies, by the US, by NATO, by Australia, New Zealand, India. It's been opposed by our adversaries, Russia, China and Iran. And in the second column, we add reform, following Putin, and the Tories following reform.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister knows this has nothing to do with national security, but his bad negotiating. I've had the security briefings. It was a bad deal before, and it's still a bad deal. And then in half an hour, the Chancellor is going to stand up and tell us that everything is fine. But the truth is, she has made bad choices. Bad choices that mean higher inflation. Bad choices that have led to lower growth, bad choices that have meant that jobs have been lost every single month since Labour came into office. That's hundreds of thousands of families who've lost their income in Stoke, in Grangemouth, in Luton. Those are their constituencies, businesses across the country. The Chancellor has lost all her headroom. She's fallen out with the Cabinet. She's making unfunded spending commitments, which she promised not to do. Isn't the truth that we have got the wrong Chancellor and the wrong priorities?
Listen to this. Listen to this. Hold on.
Are you working super hard?
Now, listen to what Starmer says. They cut it. They cut it. Anyhow, it's done there. Gary, what Starmer said right there, it is cut. What Starmer actually said right there is they have made the wrong decision and brought her in. but that bit is cut, you know. But anyway, that is how things are. Kemi's holding them to the fire, Gary, you know, and things like that. Yeah.
I mean, Reeves should not be Chancellor. Reeves has
No.
She has made bad mistakes, grave mistakes, and you could. I mean, did you see her face?
Oh yes, I see her face. Yes.
She was fuming. She was. If she could say something, she would.
Yes.
She was fuming because it's a personal attack, and Kemi had every right to say what she said.
Yes. Well, Gary, listen, we're going to wrap up, but I just want to go before I go. I just want to say that next week. Let me see. Next week, the 20th. next week, the 20th, Victoria Mutual is going to be having a roadshow in Brixton. Yeah. And the president of this and the CEO, Courtney Campbell, will be there, the group executive, talk about build your wealth and, where your story began. That's going to be an event. That's in Lewisham. That's just around the corner from where I live. So that's going to be an event. And if people want to go to this event, they can contact, who should they contact? They should contact VM Group. And the telephone is there with Donna Brown and myvmgroup.com. They can go and check it out there. That's going to be a very interesting one. And of course, that is Victoria Mutual continuing their partnership and their discussion with the diaspora. June the 20th, 2025, Lewisham Town Hall, Civic Suite, on the 20th, with President and CEO there. So yeah, so that's Victoria Mutual there. But no, either way, Gary, I'm gonna dash. We stay a bit late because we started late, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for the lateness today. That was because of technical hitch with the streaming provider, which is StreamYard. We had some big issues there. All right, and Sunday night, I'll be with Mr. Michael Ramsey. We're going to be talking about artificial intelligence at 8 p.m. 8 p.m., we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. Does it make people lazy? Does it make people lazy? Does AI make you lazy, or it makes you more efficient? Do you lose your critical thinking, or is just fake intelligence? Now, it's a big thing which is going on. And as I mentioned, there was that big film recently regarding, what the film called? Mission Impossible. And Mission Impossible was about an AI massive system which was trying to take over the world. So this Sunday night at 8 p.m. And of course, Saturday night, 10 o'clock, we'll have Talking Sip. And I think we're going to be talking about Jamaica because there's some breaking thing. Gary, every week there's something breaking in Jamaica. There's a breaking thing in Jamaica regarding the Integrity Commission. I just believe that, Gary, I think some members of parliament in Jamaica, I think after a certain point, there should be a way they can be removed. I believe some of them become senile and they lost the plot or something like that. But people have just to sit back and like, oh, what is this person saying? What is this person saying? And they can't do nothing about it. You know what I mean? So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Gary and I are going to say, see you later until next week, Tuesday. We'll start at 9 p.m. And we don't get caught out with the fiasco of technical hitches. Thank you. Good night. Bye-bye. Here we go.